Hey guys, Chris here. So right behind me we have a 2018 Audi Q7 E-tron in this brilliant black color, and today's video we're going to go through the interior and the exterior. So starting off with the front end, guys, this car has the Matrix LED lights. They look like this, and let's go ahead and hit the unlock button so you can see the blinkers. That's what they look like. Really cool. Just gonna lock the car again, and then you have the daytime running lights below here that, well, they turned off. Let's see if we can open up the car. This does not have keyless entry, but it does have keyless go, so press the unlock button there, and then this car is sold. This is a brand new car. That's why this has the plastic cover on the keys. Let's see if we'll put on the parking lights. Just show you guys the LEDs, the daytime running lights on the e-tron, and that's what they look like. Actually really cool, a very different look than what other cars have and other Audis have. So the e-trons do have these unique daytime running lights down there in the lower part of the bumper. Let's go ahead and just turn off the lights here again. Close the door. We're going to go through the interior afterwards. But the front end of the Q7, the e-tron, does look really nice and really cool, really distinct in my opinion. I do like this big and bold Audi grille here, and this black pearlescent metallic paint. It looks really nice. And do we have actually, are these the cameras for the radar cruise control? I actually do think they are. I don't think they are fog lights at all. They don't look like lights. So walk over to the side of the car. This has painted to the body wing mirrors with, you know, the indicators there on the mirrors, and they have these cool 5-spoke 21-inch summer wheels on Continental rubber, looking really nice. And then you have this bit of, you know, this satin chrome finishing here on the lower part of the doors with the Quattro badging on the rear door. And you also have a same type of, you know, this chrome satin finishing around the windows, and you also have the roof racks in the same finish. And towards this black, almost, you know, purple deep black paint color, I think they look really nice. And then take a look at the rear end. I do apologize, we are in opening hours here at Dales Auto in Fredrikstad, you know, my local Audi dealer, where I bought 2 Audis. So we have, you know, customers walking in and out of the store picking up their cars for service. And the rear end of the Q7 might be its most boring part, but I actually think it looks quite nice, actually. More modern, more distinct than the old Q7, which was really round. I do like this rear end a lot better. You have Q7 badging here on the left side, and then you have the e-tron Quattro on the right side. So this is the e-tron. This is a plug-in hybrid with a 3-liter V6 diesel engine, not a gas engine like you'll find on the A3 e-tron, but a diesel engine. So one of the few plug-in hybrids which have diesel engines. And then the lower part of the bumper, you get this styling here, which is plastic, which is painted in like a matte satin finish. And you don't get any exhaust tips here. They're hidden behind the bumpers, as you can see down there. And then here you have the fog lights, you have the rear reflectors there in the lower part of the bumper. Overall, I do like the look of, you know, this Q7 a lot, especially this black paint color, this black paint scheme makes it look really cool with these 21-inch wheels. So before we step into the car, I want to show you guys the key again. This is Audi's new key design. This is what we also have on our Audi A4, which is also a 2018 model. As I said, this car is sold. That's why it has the protective plastic on the key. This car does not have easy entry or keyless entry. Comfort access is what they call it in Audi lingo. So you do have to press the button to open up the car. But if it did have keyless access, you could push here to lock the car, but here you have to push the button. It also doesn't have the folding mirror, so this is not a fully spec'd out car. So let's go ahead and take a look at the interior of this car. Open up the door, and this has, you know, the simplest interior package, which gives it Alcantara on the seats with leather on the sides. Again, not the fully spec'd Q7, but still a really nice equipped one. We'll get to more details later on in this interior. So the door design is actually really nice, and as in normal Audi fashion, the materials are of really high quality. You have soft touch plastics up top here, a really nice solid feeling top portion of the door, and you have beautiful Alcantara here on the inserts, and then you have this beautiful piece of aluminum trim here, and then you also have this aluminum trim here which is brushed, really nice, really high quality, and then you have a metal door handle here for the door interior door release, and then you have buttons here for locking and unlocking, and then you have the memory settings here which you set, and you also have 2 position memory settings. You also have the piano black trim here, looking really nice. Everything just feels very solid and very nice. You have the armrest here which is also softly padded plastics with the window controls here with a bit of, you know, satin chrome finishing on the end of the buttons. Audi are almost the only car manufacturer that does that in the premium segment, making their buttons, you know, look and feel very nice. And then you have the wing mirror controls here for both heating, and then you can also actually fold them according to the graphics here, but this car does not have that function. And then you have a trunk release here. In the lower part you have the speaker here. This does not have, you know, the upgraded Bang & Olufsen sound system, or not even the upgraded Bose sound system. So here you have the standard sound system, and then down here you also have soft touch plastics. So like in something like an XC90, you have soft touch plastics on the whole door, and then on the inside it's actually hard touch plastics, but you do have this rubber finishing, like a rubber mat in the all the way here in the bottom, and the door pockets are, well, quite smallish actually for being this size of car. Compared to an XC90, again, they are much smaller. So over to the rest of the interior. We already show you guys the interior. This has the S-Line interior package, which gives you these beautiful Alcantara and leather seats with white contrast stitching. A really nice seat design, and they are electrically adjustable, and as I showed you here, they are also memory set. So let's take a step inside the car to show you the rest of the interior. And well, it might not be as, you know, have the wow factor and, you know, the beautiful materials of something like an XC90, but it does have really nice fit and finish, and the quality of the materials and the switchgear is second to none. Audi have really, you know, nailed switchgear and how the buttons, you know, click and how they feel just brilliantly. And here you have, you know, the S-Line steering wheel, Audi Sports steering wheel, and, you know, this is just really nice and of really high quality. You have the perforated leather here on the sides and smooth leather up top with contrast stitching on the inside. You know, double stitching here really just looks really nice. And then you have this metal section, real metal here on the lower part of the steering wheel, and the airbag cover, though being soft touch plastics, does feel really nice, and the buttons are just really nice and really clicky, just feel very precise. And let's go ahead and see here if we can bring up the Audi virtual cockpit. I'm not sure how this works. Yes, we have the maps all the way over to the right there, and then you can change the view. And, you know, that is just gorgeous. I'm going to do a proper review, not on this car because this car is sold, but on a Q7, and not very long. But this just shows you that this is the best digital gauge cluster in the business today. Fully customizable, and you can also, you know, minimize the gauges. They're just giving a full map view of this 12-inch digital gauge cluster. Just looks beautiful, and you can also choose different functions over here. You can radio and also your trip computer, and you can also scroll here with this to check out, you know, vehicle functions, vehicle settings, so on and so forth. Just really gorgeous. On top of the dashboard, we have soft touch plastics, really high quality. I'm not sure if you can get a leather dashboard on the Q7, but I suspect you can, but don't quote me on that. You also here have, you know, the beautiful MMI infotainment with this beautiful screen that pops out of the dashboard, and you can also make it go into the dashboard by pressing that button, which is actually really cool and really nice. So on the surface, you know, the interior doesn't, you know, wow you the same way as something like an XC90, and, you know, the overall luxury feel just isn't quite there. It's very close, but isn't quite there. But you know, when you go more into detail, the switch gear and everything just feels very nice. You know, attention to detail. Here you can see you have proximity sensors on the buttons here. So when I just, you know, what am I doing now? You can also see that it changes when I'm running my hand over there. And then you can also turn down the temperature. We're going to do that because it is 26.5 degrees outside today, and we can actually blow cold air here because this is the E-tron, which means we have electricity on the battery. But you know, the vents and everything here look really nice, really cool. Looks like our Audi A4, just, you know, blown up a bit in size. Also does the center console, and the ambiance, the way you sit in the cabin is actually I really do like it. So here you have a touchpad for the MMI, and then you also have this, the control wheel here, which you know, turn around or you swivel, and then you can also click it up and down for different functions. And you can also press back here, and then you have map view. So press the map and then you get the map up there. You can also press media, and then you get media choices there, aux, Bluetooth, so on and so forth. And then you hit the back button. You can also write here on the screen when you're entering a destination, so you can write, you know, the letters or characters here on this touchpad. Here you have, you know, a fully physical climate control. I lost my train of thought there. So this is something I really do like. This has the 3-zone climate control, which gives you these beautiful knurled switches here, these rotating knobs, and with the temperature with a small screen on the inside there. The new Audis have, you know, this all digital. This is one screen, but I think I do prefer physical buttons here, and also more of that, you know, that trim here, that beautiful brushed aluminum trim. And you also have large cup holders here, which do fit bottles and coffee cups really nicely. And then you also have this large storage bin here, which I wish you could close because it doesn't look quite finished. And then you have an adjustable armrest here with quite smallish storage here. That's not very impressive, actually. It's actually smaller than what I have in my XC90, and that has a shallow storage compartment there because we have the battery pack here in the tunnel. The battery pack here in this car is actually in the trunk, meaning this is a 5-seater only. You can't get the e-tron as a 7-seater. You have also USB ports here, and you have an aux port. But I think can you adjust these individually lengthwise? That's what you can do. And then how does this work? Once and like that. So I do like the way you can adjust Audi armrests. They do work very nicely. So let's take a look at the roof in this car. Is just all black fabric. This does not have a panel roof, so nothing to write home about. Here in the roof department, just good old plastic grab handles. But again, this car isn't spec'd, but you do have a beautiful frameless mirror like you do in the XC90. So let's take a step and look at the rear seats in this car. So the rear seats are very big. The rear doors open up very largely, actually. Almost feels like a limo. This car is marginally bigger than an XC90, a bit wider, a bit longer. So the rear doors, tinted windows here, also have soft touch plastics on top, just like the front doors. You have, you know, the Alcantara door inserts there, and you actually have storage compartments here, which remind me of old-fashioned, you know, ashtrays that we had in cars many decades ago. We have the same aluminum, brushed aluminum trim here, and the same aluminum trim there, and the piano paint. And you also have the same, you know, soft touch plastics here on the armrest, and this is like a rubberized finishing on the inside, the same we have on the front doors. And then you have soft touch plastics down low here, and actually the rear door bins are almost as big as the front door bins. You have a huge speaker there for the bass, and then you have the rear seat. So this looks like you have a bit more rear seat legroom than what you have on an XC90. That might be because this car doesn't have a third row. The seats look really nice, really flat, and you have that Alcantara, perforated Alcantara actually on the inserts on the seats. And then you have the same, you know, smooth leather here. It's not quite a Nappa leather, but it does feel really nice. And then you have the contrast stitching. So let's take a step inside here. And then you have the seat backs here, which are soft to the touch, but they're only softly padded because if you push a little more harder, you do feel that they are hard on the inside. Just gonna open up the door here so we have a little more light, because this does not have a panel roof, so it means that's quite dark. So you have map pockets here on the back of the front seats, and then you actually have a speaker here. The carpeting goes only down to about, you know, the window line, the belt line. Again, just comparing it to an XC90 because that's what I drive daily. You have, you know, the carpeting or the Alcantara going down all the way down here. And then you have the tri-zone here, so you have just, actually you only have temperature. You can't adjust the fan speed, though you can adjust, you know, how much air comes out of the actual vents. And then this part here is soft touch, but still a very, very pleasant back seat. And the seats do feel very comfortable, very nice. I wouldn't mind spending, you know, a lot of hours in the rear seat here. And then you have, let's see if we can open up the armrest here, which does require pushing a button. And these are just like in the XC90 fashion, not the best cup holders you do get. This just plastic section here just feels cheap and out of place in this car. A lot of cars do that better. The XC90 isn't much better there, and this just looks weird. But this is a pass-through for, I guess, skis. Don't know how that operates. And then you have, you know, the adjustable headrest for the center seat there. And then again, nothing much to show on the roof because this doesn't have a panoramic sunroof, but you have map lights there. So let's go back to the trunk. Check out the last thing on this Q7. I do suspect this has an electric tailgate, and yes, it does. But since it doesn't have, you know, keyless entry or comfort access, you can't lock it from here naturally. And here you have the trunk. So since this is the plug-in hybrid, you have the battery pack beneath the floor here, so you don't have a third row. And I also think it gives you a little smaller trunk space, but still this is a huge car. It's more than 5 meters long, so if this is too small for you, I don't know what car you should get, because even for me, who, you know, I need a lot of space, this is more than enough. This car does have air suspension, as you can see here, so you can lower it for loading into the trunk, and also has an electric trailer hitch here. Let's see if we can work that. And that's actually fully electric, not semi-electric like you do have on the XC90, which is actually very practical and actually really nice. Operates just flawless there. And then put it back. It's actually very, very nice. And then you have the trunk cover here, which closes like that. And yeah, so that's the trunk. So there you go, guys. That was an extensive interior and exterior look at the 2018 Audi Q7 E-tron. A really nice car, and I can't wait to do a full review on this car. I have driven this car earlier on the channel a long time ago. I wasn't very positive about that car, but I'm very much more positive to this car now because it does grow on me a lot. So guys, if you like this video, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware.